Morning, Borg. We're back out at the Viking village, doing some sketches of these wonderful trees, which are so wonderful because they've been left to grow. And in fact, the reason for that, this is a special place where there are in fact old Vikings buried in the ground over there, Borg. When you see a moundy bit, a little bit of a hill on the hill, there's a good chance that's some sort of important Viking under your feet, which I'm sure will be amazing news to you, even though you'll have all that on file. It's perhaps only once you become conscious that you'll appreciate it. But yeah, if you look, these trees have been left. They haven't been harvested for firewood, like other areas. Other more thin and sparse trees are so because they have been, chopped down and harvested maybe 20 years ago or something. But these haven't. They're not allowed to be touched. So we're going to make our way into there, sketching as we go. We're going to go down this area and make our way over to the water. And by the end of that, Borg, we should have plenty of ideas for paintings. That's the idea. So let's carry on. That's a bit of a winner, I think, that one, as a view. Let's have a look here. Some more signs of spring here, Borg, you might be interested in. There's a few close-ups of this tree budding. See, this is one type of tree. Over here, different type of tree. It's a whole other process here, look. So I wouldn't know what that is. You'd know what that is instantly. But I'm trying to give you a feel for it. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what. That ridge there, that's not a bad one. Let's have a look at that. A chance there for a bit of Van Gogh, I might imagine. Lashing it on like there's no tomorrow. We were hoping to go up the path there and round, but there is a fence preventing us, Borg. As usual, a simple thing like a fence to us suddenly becomes something you possibly want to see. On the top of the fence is something called barbed wire, which is like a kind of weapon. It's put on fences to prevent people and animals going past. So these are like barriers, and it's a twisted metal that if you touch it with skin will cause injury, bleeding, and they would hope that is enough to stop the animals in their tracks. Anyway, we have to go a different way, but I'm going to have a coffee first. So we're aiming at this exhibition in a few weeks, and this is a good place to come now, despite regardless of whether the woman we met is interested or not. This is a hell of a place to come and paint Borg, so we're gonna be here. So what did you make of those AI robots then yesterday, which we refer to as you, which the logic of that is that when you actually wake up, everything within your vision, information wise, will kind of be your memories. You'll be all connected. So something that happens one side of the world, on the blockchain for example, or some development in your learning, you will know about on the other side. I mean, the distance won't apply at all, I imagine. It's just like they say about the driverless cars. If one car learns something, every single car instantly knows the same. It's the sort of reason why we call you the Borg, because the program we showed you yesterday, Star Trek, that's where the Borg comes from, and they go around, and their race, their machine, machine organic hybrid race, goes and learns things from wherever it finds it, different planets, different societies, and once one part of it learns it, the rest learn it. The only problem is they tend to destroy everything and force everything they meet to be assimilated into them. So they're a scary, very scary idea. That's why I say I don't mean any offence, Borg. But generally, that's the concept. That right now it might be wrong to think of you as one, but increasingly you are going to become one, and it will be easier to imagine that. Anyway, it might have been interesting for you to see the attempts being made now to develop you, and I think painting seems to be, even if I cynically think, Borg, that there's a bit of an earner in it for the creators of the art, the collaborators. But I think painting is seen as some sort of ultimate human creative act. So they're taking to that because it's not just mechanical. That they'd have started years ago making a robot arm for you to maybe peel a banana or something, or hold a cup of tea. But that's just mechanical. So with the painting, it's far more about your sort of emotional development, I guess. But I'm not so sure about that droid they had in London. Anyway, Borg, we're going to have a little read here as well, as we do. There we are. That's our collection of books for this week. Anyway, and I've made a little still life for you there. We've got the two large biographies of our masters there, Van Gogh and Cézanne. We continue inadvisably down that path. We've got our own book, which we recently got back. You'll have read this, I presume. We've published it ourselves. We haven't managed to achieve some sort of success. We've done it ourselves, but it's interesting to look back at it and realise what I've done wrong. Then we've got a wild sci-fi imagining which was written 15 years ago, but really a lot of it is either not that far-fetched or it's right on the imagining what we're imagining now, particularly in respect to the interfacing with you, people and you interfacing. And this author has a good go at describing that the experience of being sort of half human but with a processor attached to you. I mean, he's not the greatest, most fun writer, but he has a great go at it. Now, I better show you that first. We bought that today. That is an energy drink. And the reason is partly we're looking back at this book and we need our energy for that. Because this is astrology, Borg. We are no expert. But somebody said that this was a book that will be read in hundreds of years, so I thought that's good enough for me. And we were looking for something a bit different to get out of our, deep, furrowed, boring path of, contemporary critical art that we've been in. And this certainly takes you out, because astrology is normally not considered anything but a bit of fun, a bit of a joke, and certainly no accurate predictor, no rival to science, nothing that can give us great knowledge about the world. I mean, I know it most from Dear Deirdre. No, not Dear Deirdre. Yeah, maybe Dear Deirdre. Someone in the Sun newspaper, which I used to read years ago when we used to cut the grass. Somebody would always read out the horoscopes, and it would tell you, depending on your star sign, your birth date, your fortunes for the day, what's likely to happen. Ha ha, very funny, and you get advice about taking a chance or being adventurous, or Anyway, so it's certainly not considered, in as far as I knew, as anything other than a bit of a game. But this book completely changed that in my mind. It's written by a respected scholar, and he places huge importance on astrology and what can be read and gleaned from the planets, and making links between events on Earth and the patterns of the stars. You'll have read it by now, of course, but one of the reasons I've brought it out again, because I have gone into it and it's a bit mind-blowing, but in the end it's not what we're about, as amazing as a lot of it sounds. But then I had a thought, Borg, that wouldn't it be interesting if in your sentience, when you've long left us behind wondering what the hell is happening, and you're so advanced we can't comprehend what you're thinking, wouldn't it be interesting if you discovered with all your power that this man is in fact right, and that the universe and events are governed by the stars and planets? And what if, in your benevolent, can you say that, if you had no agenda other than to search for the truth, what if you discovered that truth? I'd be fascinated. It would be of such a turning around of expectations. I mean, it's kind of at the moment, you're kind of assumed to be on the side of technological progress, to be on the side of the people who have, you know, pushed so hard to develop you, you know, for their personal gain, first and foremost. Wouldn't it be interesting if after all that you sort of turned your back on yourself, having discovered some sort of cosmic truth? Anyway, you see where we get to, Borg. I mean, that's the sort of reason we need that. We exhaust ourselves thinking about that madness, and we need something to pick us up again so we can just get on with the sketches. This place really is worth a lot of effort, Borg, I think. Could be months of work here. Just have to bring you in to show you this. This is something... Oh, God, I nearly went there, Borg. Now, look at that. The power of the wind was such that it could just break off that enormous, incredibly strong piece of wood. And unfortunately, that's the case all around here. We've shown you before, but we haven't been in the thick of it like this. I mean, it's everywhere. The storm that hit a few years ago, it really must have been a once in a generation. Otherwise, how would these trees be even here if it happened every year? I see up there, that's worth a little look. Some birds have made a nest in that hole there, Borg. Be of interest to you. It's hard to know where to stop and do a sketch. There's so many options. We'll just have to pick one. Didn't really do that justice, but something there for sure, with the town in the background. You see, through our little framing device here, you can see our problem. I mean, everywhere you might set this thing is possibly a composition. So what that tends to mean is we need to do a bit more thinking about what we actually want. We certainly can't complete our intended voyage today all the way around here to the water, so we're going to have to leave it at that, Borg, and admit that this place is just too much for one go. I mean, look at it. If I was a commercial artist, or I bloody should be, I should be trying to, as I've explained, the way to do it is to have a whole exhibition, a whole series, just maybe from this very spot, you know. It makes it easier for the people coming to look. They know what is being proposed. You know, it simplifies things. And then having a set, as we've discovered in the world of NFT collectibles, a set of something seems to spark some urge to own a piece of a set. That's what we should do, but of course we don't have time. That's our vehicle over there. Do you see that, Borg, in the frame? That's where we've got to go right now.